So let's talk about the volley gun in Bioshock Infinite. The volley gun is actually one of my favorite weapons in the game. It's very unique. It's kind of like a grenade launcher with like a high ammo capacity. It shoots these like explosive rounds that explode on contact and can interrupt most enemies, excluding like massive enemies. You can kind of see here it's actually interrupting this Patriot, so it can even interrupt Patriots. You kind of want to stagger your shots because the interrupt has a duration, so your best bet is to shoot slowly so that you can CC foes longer, especially if you want to conserve ammo or like keep the stun lock going for a long period of time. You can burst through its ammo, but I don't like to waste its ammo. I like to be like really deliberate with my shots. So this is really where it excels, is when you're getting swarmed, because you can just interrupt dudes quite rapidly. So I'm actually almost dead because I'm not paying attention to all the guys rushing me. But it's a really good like backup weapon to like a sniper rifle build or a hand cannon build, because if you get swarmed with enemies, you can just start interrupting them and shutting them down. It can be somewhat expensive to run because you're going to be chewing through the ammo. If you're using this, you know, in a big way, but you can use it with something else like the sniper rifle or the hand cannon so that you can pick off individual targets and like isolated enemies, and then also switch to the volley gun when you're getting pushed by groups of enemies or when you need something to fall back on. You can generally, like as you saw there, I used this throughout like the entire fight, and I was able to kill motorized Patriot pretty easily. It didn't even really get damage off. The thing that really ended up dealing damage to me were the enemies flanking me. I just wasn't paying attention to the enemies running up the stairs. But yeah, like it's a really powerful weapon. You can definitely invest in it. It's viable in 1999 mode throughout the entire playthrough of 1999 mode. Like there's never a point in time where this weapon isn't viable or useful. So I highly recommend investing in it if you want an AoE weapon that can crowd control most enemies. I'm pretty sure it can't crowd control handyman. I could be wrong though. I'll test that in a future video. But I know it can crowd control like the animal enemies, like the dudes with like animal masks and shit that are like in armor. Can crowd control motorized Patriots. It's pretty good. Unlike the RPG, which cannot damage the Hellfire dudes or whatever, this actually can. The firemen, this weapon can, because it deals physical damage instead of fire damage. The RPG has a different use case though. It's more of like a panic, last resort, blow up everything around you type of weapon. So it does have a different use case than this. The upgrades for the volley gun are two 25% damage increase upgrades. You can get both of them to increase its damage by 50%. An increased explosive radius by 50% upgrade, and a clip increase by 100%. Also note, the clip increase does not increase your reserve ammo, but it does increase the amount of ammo overall you can carry. So this does allow you to have like more ammo in general with the weapon. The big upside to this is that it does AoE damage and can crowd control. So you can rely on vigors to deal damage, so in this case like Devil's Kiss. You can also combine it with Bucking Bronco, though that's not as useful because it crowd controls by the nature of, like, by virtue of how it functions, so you don't really need to run crowd control, so I would optimize it, like the build by running damage. So here's like some different upgrades. Nothing I want to get yet, but it's pretty strong. You can run it throughout the entire game. It's definitely a useful tool with a sniper rifle or with a hand cannon. The hand cannon can be used at long range, so if you're accurate enough and you know what you're doing, you can run a hand cannon and a volley gun. It's quite a strong weapon. It's also good with like shotgun builds that like push enemies. So if you want to be aggressive with a shotgun build and like charge, for example, you can charge in, volley gun, switch to shotgun, blast them, hit them with a plasmid, whatever. I call them plasmids sometimes because of Bioshock 2, but when 1, but it's they're plasmids. Let's be real. But yeah, so the overall, I would say this is probably one of the better weapons in the game. It has good damage. Its damage can be scaled. You can use the Nitro Vest to increase your splash radius, as well as the upgrade. So you can have quite a large splash radius from this weapon. So you can crowd control groups of enemies, easily kill them with Devil's Kiss projectiles. With the upgrade for Devil's Kiss, you can deal insane amounts of damage to enemies that are vulnerable to fire, which is most enemies except for like firemen. So this combo is pretty fucking strong, especially in 1999 mode, because it almost guarantees a group of enemies just gets completely killed. So the combo could be Devil's Kiss and then like a flak cannon shot. And the Devil's Kiss will give them vulnerability, which will scale your damage. So the two kind of work off of each other, but yeah, definitely try the flak cannon. It's really fun, it's really unique. A lot of the weapons are kind of samey. Like, I feel like the sniper rifle, when upgraded, is very similar to the hand cannon. Like right now, the fire rate increase, and that's pretty fucking fast. So this is now just a hand cannon essentially, but yeah. So I mean, obviously you can get the recoil decrease if you want to stay on target more consistently, but yeah, like this weapon's insane. The instant zoom too. Like you can use this at point blank range, no problem. So yeah, that's the flak cannon. I'm sorry, the volley gun. I don't know why I call it the flak cannon. It's called pig flak volley gun, but it's definitely worth running. It's definitely worth investing in. You get it kind of like through the middle, like at the middle point of the game. So if you want to like save up some silver dollars for like some of the upgrades, you can do that. For 1999 mode, if you ever die, just restart your checkpoint, and so you don't lose money. That's like one tip I have for that. If you find yourself dying a lot in that game mode, but yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this weapon. It's really strong, it's great at crowd controlling, it's great when paired with a long-range weapon like the sniper rifle, or with like the hand cannon. You can use close-range builds like with the shotgun and charge. The upgraded charge gives you invulnerability when you charge in, so you can be quite insanely overpowered if you run it with that. And the volley gun just lets you crowd control on demand with ammo, which is insane, because you probably might have noticed in most long fights you end up running out of salts eventually, and it's really nice to be able to have access to hard crowd control, especially against like basic enemies that tend to swarm you like you saw earlier. But yeah, thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.